Are you a black man, or you love a black man, or you've just been around one and you thought to yourself, look, I feel you, but I'm not sure if you feel me, you know? And for the most, they probably feel you so much. Black men are very expressive, and beyond them being expressive, they also live in a world where they have to question their expression because it's never fully validated from a very young age. And as one, right now, I want to share really the struggles that we undergo and how we can better it for each other as families, as friends, and as a community. More than anything, having the black man taken care of in a community will have the rest of the tribe feeling safer and less unfavorable statistics like GBV going down, because we don't need that. This is a result of undiagnosed men with mental illnesses that only ever get attention when they start being wild, you know? I'm trying to stay alive creatively, mentally, spiritually, and doing so without harming anyone, without being a negative effect to anyone. But the world I live in also does not see that directly, you know? I've always had to be strong, I've always had to be smart, I've always had to be competent, I've always had to be present in ways that I don't even understand. When can I get a break from this, you know? And I've, more than anything as an individual, can say I've been fortunate enough to have been adopted to come into a space where these conversations are not fully realized, but at least it's a home for me to discover myself. But I watch black men outside and my heart just pounds. I watch black men being unseen, being unrecognized, and not being assisted, but more than anything, being quick to be put in jail. That is just not fair. And it's not saying like men just want attention. Truth be told, they didn't get it from the beginning. And when they're crying for help, they're usually a nuisance. In our community, ADHD does not exist unless it causes problems for whoever is within this community. And by problems is when we no longer know what to do with the black man, you know? And these are the people that sometimes arrive late. You think they don't care about logistics, about structures. These are the people that are never finishing the tasks. These are the people that are not necessarily outstanding in comparison to the women they are around. I am for women. I'm for women having to expand their experiences on earth and also having to live a better life than they used to before, because society has been on top of them. It has really done things where women are, like, at this point feeling unsafe around men, also struggling to even maintain relationships. It's not a woman's job nor a man's job, it's a duo job. But these two entities are unable to sit down and create something that is beautiful, that is meant to be done here in this life. But because of everything we've undergone as a community and what oppression has done to us, it's hard, you know? And we are both actually suffering, not just black men, black women as well. How many times have you seen your brother, your friend's brother, or boys doing something that is unfavorable and they let go to just do what they need to do or whatever they think they are doing until it's no longer something anyone can handle, where we bring now policemen, where we bring authorities to sort it out. Now let's leave that. Actually, let's take it like back to home, where I'm an individual again. Like I said, I'm spiritually inclined more so than anything creative, and there's so many projects that I've started in the last 26 years that I've been alive, and I've not completed them, and I'm not proud about that. But more so than anything, I know that I've again been fortunate to be in a space where I get to finish most of them, not even most, at least some of them, so that my heart feels satisfied and pleased to keep going in this life thing, where I'm in a space that I believe in my creativity, I believe in what I bring to the plate. But not every boy has that chance, and that's very sad, you know? And when do we ever say this is a mental problem? Beyond that, I won't be making this video long, but I've been struggling to be able to not only record this Dachevich experiment, but also to pull through, to pull through with my ideas. My biggest idea and what I wanted to do was to create a website so that I am able to serve people and help them with branding, social media management, photography, things that I'm skilled with, and then also availing myself for things like dancing, and also more than anything start selling some thrifting. I wanted to create my own business so that I'm self-sufficient and I do things that I do love and then grow from there. I have been struggling. This is something where I was going to say this is the first thing in my life where I'm not going to involve people. I don't want them to be involved. I want to do it myself. It's hard. It's exceptionally hard, and what's even harder is the thought of going back to a 9-to-5. That's even harder for me, in a sense where I don't think it's impossible. I'm employable, I'm competent, and I'm very good at what I do. But I foresee myself sitting there thinking, when am I going to be done with this, and when am I going to be working on something that's bigger than just this? Do you know what I'm saying? Because nothing that I get infuriated with when I get into corporate spaces where we can do so much more as a team, but because of the guidelines, the rules and all those things, where we just don't move. Anyway, this video is for those that have given me a second. I think there's only been 1 or 2 people that have been watching in that sense. I'm gonna forgive myself and I'm gonna try again, okay? I am gonna try again in doing everything that I said I'm gonna do. This is for me. I want to look back into these days and say, these were hard. These days were hard. We were climbing, but we did it. Because more than anything, one of the also biggest things that happened in the last week, my laptop did something that I've never really experienced from a laptop, like personally. It just froze, and in its freeze, it cleaned everything that was on that laptop. Everything. Look, I've been struggling with space, but I was shook. Not only, yes, I was happy that I had all the space, but I was flabbergasted in what was gone. Everything. And that's when you have to let go and remind yourself that if this is something that you really do and love, you'll always be able to pick up the pieces and go exactly where you need to go. I love women. I remember that one of my causes that I wanted to just ensure that girls are always safe, and that's something that's always going to happen because of where I come from and the story that I have from my family. But more than anything, it's also to remember the boy child. Why am I also rushing to help the girl child when I'm going to the end of the problem? You know, I need to start at the beginning, and I can't do that alone. I would love to do that with people that are consciously understanding how this is affecting us, especially as the Black community. We are going to have to do this. We are going to have to go above and beyond and ensure that our men are taken care of, not when they're old, now when they're growing. If we want a better society, the boy child must not be left behind. That needs to stop. A struggle for me also is not something that's brand new. It's just that I found ways to start communicating that in a healthy way. First of all, I was born in a family where we had a mother and a father, of course, and I have 3 siblings. I'm the 4th one. And by the 4th one, I mean I'm a middle child, right? Something very big happened in my family where my father did something that is not favorable to the family, but beyond the family, to an individual who was also psychologically affected for their entire life. Nothing was ever the same with my sister after all of that happened, but also my mother, who was married to this man, and this happened in this household. She was also wrecked. And I ended up having to take over the home, not directly and immediately, but I was the most sane. I was to say, apparently, I was the most sane, but I wasn't as sane, but again, the most sane. But in that sanity, I also milked myself to a point where insanity also was introduced in my life, where taking care of the children, having to provide about opportunity, sacrificing playing outside where it's no longer my thing, where I need to ensure different parties and entities of this house are moving accordingly. Those that need to go to school are going to school and coming back, and those that are not going to school, we are trying to protect the household, not products, but just furniture and all of those things, having to assert yourself as a man when I know when I get outside I'm not seen as a man. I'm this queer individual that means almost nothing to society besides entertainment. I'm making this video as a form of awareness and as a plead. As I'm continuing this Dutchevich experiment, I've realized that I am in a privileged spot where a lot of these mental issues, yes, medication would do a lot and help me just to take it easy on myself as I go, but I also am so fortunate that I've been blessed by God to be able, but when I say by God, also by the women that have put so much of their hearts, and hence I wanted to dedicate my causes to women. I've had so many women in my life of different ages, of different races, putting in making me a better person, but also that came with me having to look the part, to be the part, to not be so dangerous, to seem interested, to be creative, to push up beyond the boundaries, to be exceptional in these spaces. And I think, again, I was blessed to have been given the mindset to be able to go through that way, but not all of us have that opportunity. Not all of us as black men are fortunate enough to see that so quickly, you know. Some of us are only know a world where we were ignored. And another thing, being a queer black man meant that because I am palatable to women's spaces, women are willing to help me that way without feeling unsafe. Not every man should be palatable in a way where they are, do you know what I'm saying? Some men need to be macho. We need men that are going to be men, masculine, exuding that and celebrating it with beauty, with love, but with also women feeling safe around them to guide them. I believe that God in its highest form is a form of women. Not just women, actually, that's me thinking in such an earthly way, but there's a lot of feminine energy that they come with, right? And I am blessed to be, as a human being, get to exude my understanding and my experience of life with a very strong feminine trajectory, but masculinity cannot be left behind. Masculinity is what we need as well here on this earth, because beyond just us, there are other entities beyond earth that we as a unity need to be united should any force come out from outside, and this needs to be taken care of from a household point of view, you know. I'm not going to continue even further from here. I'm grateful that you gave me your time, and I really hope that if you are a man, if you live with a man, if you believe in men and you want them around you, to take care of this conversation and to try your really best to, you don't have to go to them and diagnose, to start it from the beginning, to see them as a human being, to see that they need love and they want love and they cannot wait to share their love with you as they feel comfortable and seen, and as their weakness is also celebrated equivalently. I believe we can, especially as black people, we can. Darling, let's change the world one man at a time so that women can also feel safer and can live this life the way they deserve to experience Earth on a luxurious form, because, you know, oh my sugar. I will be back. I won't promise when. I am going to organically sit down and stop stressing myself about a perfect video and start having the discussions that I would love to have. I was busy with the Dutchevich experiment, and part of what I'm talking about, I'm suffering and I'm tired, and beyond tired, I need help. And I am getting a version of help, but you know, just communication, engagement. Where are we? Who am I speaking to? Again, I don't owe, and I'm not owed that by anyone. Sorry, it's important for me to know who I'm serving and to speak to them directly, and hopefully that we together, whilst creating, are able to understand one another. Take care of yourself. I'm about to change this world, and not alone, with you. Because what you're going to do today, you're going to go out and say something good to a man, or ask a question that is intimate, and even if they don't know how to answer, that's just one step towards change. Thank you.